Hi Aquarius, welcome to your May 2022 Taroscope with me, Raphael from Reydiant Reality. It's an absolute pleasure to have you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for joining me. Quick note, my readings are for your sun, moon and ascendant signs. So whether you're a sun, moon or rising sign Aquarius, this is for you. And I always advise that you watch all three to get a clearer, more complete picture of how they're going to speak to you. With that said, remember they are general readings. Not everything's going to resonate with everybody, and that is just fine. You should always use your own discernment. Before we start, as always, I would like to bless my decks of cards with all forms of love, light, peace, prosperity and abundance. And I pray that the messages that come through are ultimately clear and concise and they help you on your path to your highest vibrational good. So for your actions and interactions with the world at large, you get the Three of Cups. Nice. All right. So it looks like a lot of you will be having a reunion this month. Now, for some of you, this might be the rekindling of a friendship. For some of you, this might be the burying of a hatchet in a friendship. That's one way this could show up. That being said, I kind of get the feeling that if there is a blast from the past this month, it's you. You are the blast from the past. So maybe you reach out to a friend that you went to school or to college with. It could be as well, like this is the month where if you have an inkling about somebody that you used to know, someone that you used to be connected to, somebody that you were once friends with or tied to, this is the month to get in touch with them. There'll be a reason behind it. There always is. It's kind of like that. You think of somebody and then your phone rings or you get a text message from them, you know, or like you think of somebody for days and then you run into them when you go out shopping, or like this is something like that. The other thing is as well, that Three of Cups is going to see you reconnecting with someone. So it's a very joyous card. It's a very fun card, which is great. But this does tell me that there's going to be a reunion of some sort this month. For your communications and conversations, you've got the Ace of Wands. I wouldn't be surprised if you get a text message, an email, a social media, you know, like, oh my gosh, haven't seen you in ages. How's it been? This could be a reconnection over social media in some way. It could be a phone call. This could be as well that maybe you reconnect with someone on social media and then you end up talking to them for hours, like on a phone call or maybe even a Zoom call for some of you. It's very possible. That Ace of Wands is really great for the communications this month because it's going to be busy. There's going to be a lot going on. There's going to be a lot of interactions. There's going to be a lot of ideas buzzing around for you this month as well. When it comes to the professional or academic sector, this is new ideas are starting to take form or starting to take shape. So maybe things that you've been working on for a while now suddenly start to come into being, which is really great. For your love and relations, you've got the Magician card. So very interesting because you've got the Magician right next to the Ace of Wands, right? So for those of you that are partnered, married or in long-term commitments, because I call the Ace of Wands the Magician's wand, the one that he's holding there, that's the Ace of Wands, right? And so in love and relationships, especially for those of you that are partnered, this could be a month where you are really starting to rise up the ranks. Maybe your partner is seeing you in a different light because of how well you're doing at work or with the professional sphere. This could be some sort of big recognition that comes in for you, but it helps, or not helps, but maybe your partner then sees you in a different light. Like, you know, like, wow, you know, I knew you were successful. I knew you were always going places, but this is, you know, it's beyond the realm of what we thought would happen, would or could happen for you. That Ace of Wands as well, especially because you've got the Three of Cups here and the Magician. I almost feel like there's an invite in there somewhere. And it might be to something that kind of leaves you going, is this happening? Like, is this real right now? For those of you that are single, now, remember the Magician card can be trickster energy. You've got this with the Ace of Wands. I'm going to say that there's more than a few options on the table. And I kind of feel like you're going to have to be really discerning about which one of these may be the most viable option, let's say, or which one of these may not necessarily be all they present themselves to be. So when it comes to those of you that are single, be careful in love this month. Not to say that you're actively being deceived, but you know, it would be good to keep your wits about you. That being said, for those of you that are single and looking to get into something with someone, that Magician card is actually really nice because it suggests that whoever you're connecting to, you meet on an intellectual level, but you are very different. I mean, hello, we're like the aliens of the zodiac anyway, so unless it's a fellow Aquarian, which I do not advise. I dated 2 Aquarians in my time, and let's just say it's an interesting pairing, but there's a few signs that can date themselves quite happily, and then there are a few signs that I would advise not to. And I would say Aquarius dating another Aquarius is not a good match. Don't get me wrong, there are people out there that are Aquarius and Aquarius have been married for like 30 years. It happens. I'm just saying, as a general rule of thumb, Aquarius is one of those signs that is not so good with its own. For your money and materials, you've got the Temperance card. So you've got this, I actually like this. I think a lot of you are ready for your own next level of abundance, whatever that might mean to you. The Temperance card suggests that this month, it's like you figure out what's happened internally to stop the flow of your money, to stop the flow of your abundance, or maybe you're moving into that. So it's like you're getting back into that sense where anything is possible when it comes to your money, materials, finances, and possibly with your love life as well. The money, the finances, and the love life are all getting an upgrade and a reboot this month, which is very exciting. For your first week of the month, you have the Hanged Man. So you got this with the 3 of Cups. I'm gonna say this, that first week of the month, it looks like you're about to have the mother of all hangovers. 3 of Cups with the with the Hanged Man. That's a little bit, if you like a tipple, as all Aquarians do, with a water bearer after all. Interesting fun fact, the word, so the stone amethyst, the ancient Greeks used to put that in a glass of water, and they would drink that either just before they went to bed after a night of heavy drinking, or the morning after. And the word amethyst comes from the Greek amethistos, which means to not be drunk, basically, or thereabouts it equates to. So that's a really good crystal elixir for any of you that are going to be overindulging on the booze over this first week of the month, and it looks like that's going to be a lot of you. Me too, darling. I love a tipple. I'm not afraid or ashamed to admit it. I don't drink very often, just socially, and when I do, I really like to enjoy myself. That's it. I think maybe once a month I drink, if that, sometimes. For your second week of the month, you've got the Justice card underneath the Ace of Wands. This is a big commitment, right? So whatever is being offered or you're being invited to this second week of the month, it is going to be a big invite of some sort. It is going to be a big commitment as well. And what I will say to you is, this is likely to have a very it's very much going to act like a spotlight. In some way you're being pushed out or presented into the world, so just be aware that that is going to be the case. This is not hide behind the curtain energy. None of it is. I mean, the Hanged Man might be a moment of slowing down because you're like, okay, I'm feeling a little woozy here. That last shot was not a good idea. For your third week of the month, you've got the Hermit card. So for those of you that are single and looking, and like I said, it looks like there's going to be a few, the Hermit card coupled with the Magician suggests that this person, if you are connecting with somebody, it suggests this is going to be somebody that's a teacher, somebody that is highly educated, very smart, somebody that's got a lot of brains. They will be very, very different from you, and maybe, just maybe, this is the reason that it works. I like this though, and I will say, because it is the Hermit card, there's a part of me that almost feels this might be somebody that is either a frequent traveller, maybe somebody whose work takes them away quite often, and so that kind of suits a lot of Aquarians because we need a lot of freedom and autonomy to do our own thing. And, you know, if you're like me and you've got a lot of air in your chart, then you need a lot of space to breathe. For your those of you that are partnered, married, or in long-term commitments, there's something about you rising up the ranks that gets the partner to look at you in a very different way. So, you know, I think this could be a good thing. For your 4th week of the month, you've got the Wheel of Fortune coupled with the Temperance card. There's money in this month for you, Aquarius. I really believe that. And for some of you, that money may have something, it may be an international opportunity or connection that has the potential to really take your earning power through the roof. The Wheel of Fortune with the Temperance card, this is you aligning to the universal will for what is meant to be your blessings and or your abundance. For your moons, so on the 16th of May, we've got a full moon lunar eclipse happening in the top of your chart, which is in your 10th house. This is going to be all about your career, your social status, how people in the world see you. Remember what I said, there's nothing here that suggests, you know, behind the curtain kind of energy. You're not going to be able to hide in this sphere anymore. So, and remember as well that lunar eclipses can be, all eclipses are malefic in some way. But a full moon lunar eclipse can be quite intense. So this could be something about your career that maybe causes a challenge to do with the partner or the home life, that maybe gets, you know, maybe you're having to see things in really different ways, or your partner has to take a bit of a back step and say, you know what, it's their time to shine. And that might cause a little bit of friction, I'm sorry to say. For your, you've got this, the gate 28 and possible. This card for me always suggests that whatever seems impossible in that sphere of whatever it's reading for, it's actually a message to say that it is totally possible. So when it comes to your career and your home, your career and your social status and how you're seen in the world, this has the potential to launch you big in some way. It is an eclipse, so it's going to come with intensity. We can't get around that, especially an eclipse in the sign of Scorpio, the sign of intensity. For your new moon in the sign of Gemini on the 30th, you have the gate 22 and grace. It's really interesting that you have this card because the new moon in the sign of Gemini on the 30th of May for you is happening in your 5th house. This is all to do with romance, love, partnership, relationships. It's also to do with your creative project and children. A new moon in the 5th can literally bring a pregnancy, but a new moon in the 5th is all about creating something that feels like it is fun and joyous, that you want to share with the world, but just because you love it, not for the likes, not for the shares or the subscribes or whatever. And this card literally speaks to that energy. It's about creating from a space of love just because you love to create. Don't worry about how far it's going to go, who's going to see it, who's going to like it, or any of that. If you love it, it will be perfect. All right. All in all, it looks like a great month for Aquarius. Take care. Let me know in the comments how it shapes up. Take care, and I'll see you soon.